always, man. We have another one, okay? You guys ready for another one? This one's going to be good as well. The next video, I think it's go time. I think it's go time. The next video we are watching is from ChillingScares, okay? This one is called 6 Most Disturbing Abandoned Building Encounters Caught on Camera. So, I'm expecting some crazy shit. I can't even lie. With a title like this and a creator like this, I'm ready. Okay? Guys, I'm going to go pee first. You guys hang out, all right? Man, that's definitely what we're ending stream with, bro. I love that fucking song. Meg, are you here? Oh yeah, Meg's here. Meg, did he play telekinesis at the fucking concert? I'd probably cry. Yes. God. Crazy. Carter, would you rather be lost in a forest or lost in the middle of the ocean, and why? Forest, 100%. As much as I would hate my life every single second, I would... Chat, what would you rather be lost in? Middle of the ocean or forest? I feel like the chance of survival in a forest is way better, too. Like, I'm not just gonna fucking be in the middle of the ocean and catch fish with my hands to eat. At least in the forest, I can eat fucking bark and berries and shit. Maybe like an occasional leaf. I don't know. Let's go. Oh, God, bro. This is going to be fucked up. I know it is. We're about to go on an adventure here together, guys. Let's go.
Christopher Brian Hill is an urban explorer with a YouTube channel called Urbex Hill. Over the past 10 years, he's been uploading raw footage of his visits to some of the creepiest abandoned buildings in the country, often running into unexpected and sometimes life-threatening situations. Urban explorers like Chris face many dangers, from aggressive stray dogs to hostile squatters to respiratory risks and unsound structures.
True.
Venturing into an unfamiliar abandoned building is much more risky than it might sound. It's obviously much safer to explore.
You know what? I didn't even think about that, bro. Like, going into an abandoned building like that, you don't think about like the possible mold and shit that could be in there that literally can get in your lungs and make you sick. Like, you don't think about shit like that, you know?
Explore abandoned buildings in the light of day and with a group of friends, but in most of his videos, Chris explores at night and always alone. In June 2022, he visited the abandoned Westinghouse electric factory located in Cleveland, Ohio. Built more than a century ago, the factory originally consisted of 7 different buildings.
Of course it's Ohio too, bro. Doesn't help anyone's case right now.
Even though the Westinghouse Company was established in 1886, it didn't reach Cleveland until 1894. Founded by Thomas Edison, Westinghouse is best known for the notable engineers who worked for the company.
Old Thomas Edison, the lightning bolt guy.
William Stanley. For several decades, the Westinghouse Company rivaled General Electric, and it was last used as a lighting equipment production plant before its abandonment in 1979. For the past 4.5 decades, the abandoned factory has been one of the hottest urban exploration locations for curious explorers and YouTubers. In 2012, the factory started receiving even more attention after the Black Widow interrogation scene from the first movie of the Avengers was shot there. 10 years later, Chris made the trip to the abandoned factory and recorded everything he saw.
Okay.
As Chris begins exploring, there doesn't seem to be anyone around, and only the sound of crickets can be heard in the darkness as he walks around the outside of the building.
The sound of what?
As Chris begins exploring, there doesn't seem to be anyone around, and only the sound of crickets can be heard in the darkness as he
Crickets? Oh, crickets. Oh my...
walks around the outside of the building. Disturbingly, the sound of gunshots can be heard in the distance less than 5 minutes into the recording. It's worth mentioning that for the past few years, Cleveland has been ranked as one of the top 10 most dangerous cities in the US, making this visit to the abandoned factory even more risky.
Literally gunshots. What? That honestly alone would be enough to get me the fuck out of there, bro.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
It's not even that far away from here.
Oh my god. Is Cleveland like that?
Oh, that sounds like a shootout.
Chris has experience exploring everything from abandoned mental hospitals and sanatoriums to vacant occult temples, and he shrugs off the fear as he enters the creepy building. Just like in many abandoned buildings, Chris finds a mattress on the floor, meaning at least one person has been sleeping there recently.
Dude, that's so sad.
As he captures footage of the first floor and walks up the stairs to the second floor, all that can be heard in the eerie darkness is the sound of his footsteps.
Yo, why does he look so short, chat? This is like chat's POV right now. Walking up the stairs, bro.
Sleeping there recently.
Look at the chat POV
As he captures
here.
footage of the first floor and walks up the stairs to the second floor, all that can be heard in the
Man's
eerie
like a
darkness
leprechaun.
is the sound of his footsteps. A few minutes later, Chris goes down to the basement, and the footage becomes increasingly creepier as Chris runs into a series of dead ends under the leaky, moldy ceiling.
Okay, I'm hearing something.
Hell nah.
Maybe it's an animal.
This place is crazy, bro.
There's animals down here.
At several points during his exploration of the basement, he can be heard making comments about a strange noise coming from somewhere on that floor, and at first he seems to think it's an animal. Alarmingly, he finds a few shell casings on the ground from what was probably a 9mm handgun. Although it would be pretty unsettling to find something like this lying on the ground in an abandoned factory basement, it's worth mentioning that police departments often use abandoned buildings and complexes for training exercises.
Oh, that's
However,
smart.
in this case, it's impossible to know if that's really what happened. Shortly
That's
after,
smart.
he comes across a series of disturbing messages on the walls.
You're
He continues
in his
recording as he
home.
walks down narrow corridors.
It's too late.
This is where
Oh
things
my
get a
god,
lot more
dude! If
disturbing.
I'm walking down the abandoned, if I'm walking in an abandoned basement and something says this on the wall, I'm turning around and getting the fuck out. It's too late. Wait, what?
Scared the out of me.
There's a guy there,
Yo.
bro.
You need some help, bro?
Is he sleeping? Who sleeps like that?
Yo. He's not even responding. I'm gonna leave him alone.
What? Bro, if I hear a scream or something, I'm gonna shit my pants. I'm not even there.
Bro, that's crazy.
After about 20 minutes of exploring, the visit takes a very dark turn as Chris runs into a
You know what I think that is, bro? That's that trank shit. You guys ever see those videos of people on trank? I don't even know how to spell it or anything. But it's like a drug where it turns you into a zombie, bro. I think that's what that is.
hunched over man without a light at the far end of the room. He calls out to him and asks if he needs any help, but the man doesn't move or respond, and Chris decides to leave him alone. Understandably, Chris's breathing can be heard getting louder and heavier after the extremely
Yo, my fucked up ass would be throwing rocks at him and shit. I'd throw a little pebble at him trying to get it, wake him up. You know, make sure he's all right. I just want to make sure he's all right. You got to wake him up somehow. I'm not walking up to him, tapping him on the shoulder. He's going to turn around and bite my neck. Right? Hit him with a little pebble. He'd charge you. Man, you're probably right.
unsettling encounter, but things were only about to get more disturbing for him.
How's it get worse than that?
I'm gonna help that dude out.
No, you're not.
Get this dude a $20 bill.
You know, what's he?
Yo. Hey, I got some money for you.
What's he gonna do with a $20 bill, bro?
He's not there, and he's not responding.
Stop it.
About 4 minutes later, Chris decides to go back to help the man out by giving him a $20 bill. But alarmingly, when he goes back to the room, the man is no longer there. This could be incredibly dangerous, as squatters are known to behave aggressively toward unwanted visitors. And because they know the place better than anyone else, they can easily hide in the shadows and attack or scare visitors when they least expect it.
Oh my.
One theory that many viewers seemed to favor was that maybe the man was not a homeless person at all, but a gang member who was hiding from the shootout that could be heard at the beginning of the video.
Nah.
However, it's impossible to confirm if this was actually the case, and it seems pretty unlikely given his strange behavior.
Yeah, it's a reach, bro.
As he continues searching for the man, Chris notices bats flying around the basement.
I would be so paranoid thinking that guy's gonna jump out at me at any point. He probably knows this building inside and out. He's like crawling through the vents right now. Buddy's like Freddy Fuckbear, whatever his stupid ass name is.
And things get even more eerie at this point.
There's a lot of bats down here, too.
Right when he walks into one of the rooms, if you look closely at the far left of the screen, you can actually see the man from earlier standing in what used to be a door frame, staring at Chris in the darkness. Alarmingly, Chris doesn't notice and continues walking.
I didn't even see that.
It's impossible to know how long the man had been following him, and
oh, no way. My blind ass didn't even see. I'd be so dead in a situation like this.
these kind of situations, it can be hard to gauge the squatter's intentions. A few minutes later, the squatter can be seen walking outside as cars pass by the side of the building.
There he is.
At one point, Chris mentions he thinks the guy said hello, but it can't be heard clearly through the camera audio. Just when he decides to head out, he hears a cell phone vibrate, indicating that there are more people down there with him hiding in the darkness.
What?
Having had enough disturbing encounters for the night, he decides to play it safe, and fortunately, he was able to leave the building unharmed.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
He never found out who that man was, and since then, he hasn't uploaded another video of the Westinghouse factory.
You're gonna get killed in there.
This
How,
video
how the fuck did the Avengers record something in there, bro? That thing's lit up with squatters, man.
recorded in Tartu, Estonia, and uploaded to YouTube in August of 2016. In it, a group of 4 teenagers visit an abandoned sauna that was built more than a century ago in 1915, back when Estonia was still part of the Russian Empire. After fulfilling its purpose for 80 years, the sauna was decommissioned in 1995. The building remained abandoned for 23 years until in 2018 it was fully renovated and turned into a beauty salon, which is still operating as of this video's upload in 2023. In August of 2016, the uploader visited the abandoned location with 3 friends.
Dude, there's bats.
Upon entering the building, you can see that it looks exactly what you would expect a building that's been abandoned for 21 years to look like. There's an insane amount of mold growing freely on the walls, the heaters are covered in a thick layer of rust, the floor is full of holes, and the entire structure looks like it could collapse at any second. Throughout the video, the teenage explorers also run into some disturbing messages on the walls. An especially eerie one reads, "You can't hide," and there are also several creepy drawings of stick figures graffitied on the walls in some of the other rooms.
What?
For the first few minutes of the visit, other than the disturbing messages and some loose shoes and other personal belongings, there doesn't seem to be any indication that somebody could be living there or had even visited the location recently. However, about 20 minutes into the visit, one of the teenagers finds a door frame covered by a curtain, and they decide to explore the room.
Oh no.
Käin seal.
Oh no.
ma muretasin on diivanis siin nii kaugele. Küsiks.
As one of the explorers shines a flashlight into the room, a gut-wrenching scream can be heard coming from the shadows. Immediately, the 4 teenagers run up.
Yo, that is the most realistic response to something happening in an abandoned building I've ever seen, bro. That's the most realistic. That's what we want everybody to do, is to just run away like that, man.
Out of the building in a panic. When they finally step outside, the sun is already set, and the boys get into the car to flee from the location.
That was definitely a homeless
Although
guy.
the explorer was too busy running
Scaring
to show
them away,
footage of the
100%.
screaming man, it's more than likely that it was a homeless resident of the abandoned building who wasn't expecting visitors. Still, it must have been extremely disturbing to experience something like that, even if they went together as a group. After that day in 2016, the boys never went back to the abandoned sauna again.
You better not, bro.
In March of 2022, YouTubers Meg and Chris uploaded a new video to their channel, Back in Time MC, in which they showed footage of their visit to a rundown old farmhouse somewhere in the UK. In the caption, they mentioned that they found an entry point through an open window around the side of the house. Based on the state of disarray the farmhouse is in, it's clear that nobody has been maintaining it for quite some time. The floor is covered in leaves and cobwebs, the shoes look dusty and unused, and there are even a couple of dead animals lying on the floor, along with some shotgun shells lying on top of a bedside table.
What?
The only clues that indicate somebody could have been at the location relatively recently are that one of the light bulbs in one of the bedrooms looks relatively new, and some of the clothes in the closet look only gently used. Based on the pictures that Chris finds on different shelves and hung up on the
Hell
walls,
nah,
it appears
bro.
as if a family of at least 4 children used to live in the farmhouse.
What?
As the couple continues with the exploration, they walk into one of the upstairs bedrooms, where they find something very unexpected.
Thin, narrow piece of carpet that comes all the way across.
Oh, fuck this.
Absolutely nuts.
It's like a conjuring house.
We'll come into this bedroom here.
You know, this is the type of house like in movies where a family moves in and they're like, well, it's quite the fixer-upper. And they continue the move-in process. And then they're surprised that there's a spirit.
And wow. Oh my god! Hello! You're alive!
Wait, what?
You know, man,
You live in here, you can't live in here. Yeah? You
No.
can't. But we can't. Live
we
in
thought it was
here.
abandoned. We thought it was abandoned.
You can't live in here.
When he first walked into the room, Chris didn't notice that there was someone asleep in the bed. It wasn't until Meg walked in and made a noise that the woman sleeping in the bed woke up and gave them the scare of their life.
What?
Although the uploaders blurred the woman's face out of respect for her privacy, it's clear that she's pretty old. During the conversation, she tells the couple that she doesn't have any family that could take her to live somewhere else less depressing. Out of sheer kindness, Chris and Meg keep the lady company and try their best to understand her situation. She introduces herself as
Nah, bro. No. That's when the old lady goes, Malo kaliki moka tota, and puts a spell on you, and you will be forever fucking cursed. Get out of that house.
Jane, and over the next 10 minutes they ask her questions about how she ended up living all alone in an abandoned farmhouse. Thanks to the couple's empathy, the initial shock of being startled
bro,
by the
she's
sleeping
actually
old lady
there.
and
That's
seeing her living in such
crazy,
terrible
bro.
conditions
What?
quickly turns into a heartwarming moment in which the three of them talk
It's
about
not
each other's
heartwarming.
lives.
She's gonna cast a spell.
What happened was I came here to help somebody,
Okay.
and this is only for a week I'm coming,
Yeah.
and that was 1993.
Oh god.
Wow, so you've been here nearly 30 years.
Yeah.
Disturbingly, Jane mentioned she's been living in the abandoned farmhouse for 30 years, and even though Chris and Meg offer to help her, bring her food, and buy her clean clothes and sheets, she seems hesitant to accept anything from them, claiming that she's fine living the
Oh
way
my,
she
nah, no way, lady, you shitting this. No way you where do you
fine living the way she does. She mentions that even though it's not her house, the men who work at the farmhouse know she's there and they bring her food and water every day. In a touching moment at the end, the couple agrees with Jane to visit her again soon. This would have been a happy ending to the story, but Chris and Meg included a caption at the end of the video that cast the situation in a more disturbing light.
Oh god.
The caption reads, "I did a lot of research to try and find the name of the farm and whom it was owned by. Luckily, I got the information needed, and I even got a message from someone who knew the farmer who farms there." Chris goes on to explain that the man who reached out to him also knew that Jane was living there, and that the farmer also lives in the farmhouse with her. According to the man, Jane is very well cared for, but she chooses to live in those terrible conditions anyway. The man also mentioned that Jane's husband is up there constantly to make sure she's okay,
What?
but she doesn't accept his help very easily, or anyone's help for that matter. It's worth mentioning that Jane might not have been completely truthful about her situation to Chris and Meg. During their conversation, she mentioned that she didn't have anyone to care for her except for the farmer, but the man who knew the farmer told Chris that she also has a brother who tries to take care of her.
Wait, what?
Not entirely convinced by what the man told him, Chris continued digging for information and found that the farm was not on any land registry records, but there was another property to Jane's name that she owned between 1986 and 2015. After visiting the other property, Chris mentioned that it was as unkempt and beat up as the farmhouse itself. Having heard two different versions of the story from the man who contacted
Oh my god, bro, look. They opened the door.
Having heard two different
Okay, we got some body lotion, right? Not bad. You got the conditioner, you got the shampoo, and then you got the piss bottle. That's piss.
versions of the story from the man who
Oh my god, bro. Just garbage, man.
contacted him and from Jane herself, he decided to contact Adult Social Services. This is the email he received from them. "Good morning, thank you for your email. I can confirm that adult social care are aware of this lady, however, I'm not able to provide you with any further details. We appreciate your input and the information you have provided, and thank you for raising your concerns with us. Chris then told the man who contacted him to tell Jane that he and Meg would be happy to go back and visit her if she wanted them to.
Stop playing hero, bro. Let the witch live in her fucking haunted house, okay? Why are we doing this? Just keep making your YouTube videos. Go to the next building.
No further updates on the old woman, and we'll likely never know what became of her. The only thing we know for sure is that if someone else decides to explore the abandoned farmhouse in the future, they'll likely run into the same situation as Chris and Meg. Sadly, this type of situation is much more common than many people realize. With rising prices and the overall state of the global economy, a large part of the elderly population is being forgotten.
Damn.
Hopefully, Jane can accept some help from her family members and live out the rest of her days in much better and healthier conditions than the one she was in when the video was uploaded. Robert Fulton Elementary is an abandoned school in a pretty rough neighborhood of Cleveland, Ohio. The building is 92 years old and has been abandoned
Cleveland,
for over
you're just
13
getting
years.
reamed in this video,
After several
bro.
complaints from nearby residents who mentioned that the abandoned building was an eyesore, a potential crime hotspot, and that it was lowering the value of their properties, the mayor of Cleveland announced plans to turn the rundown old building into a high-quality, mixed-income housing unit for the community. Although the idea is still in the planning stages and the city needs more funding to complete the project, the plan is for the renovations to begin by the end of 2024. For now, Robert Fulton Elementary remains one of the creepiest abandoned schools in the country. In May of 2023, Chris Hill, again from the YouTube channel
this guy
uploaded a video in which he made a second visit to the
W creator, to be honest.
School. The first video he made of the school was back in 2022. During his first visit, he heard strange humming, chanting, creaking, and banging noises coming from different rooms.
What?
This was part of the description in the first video. Most sections of the building are falling apart, and the water and elements have done irreversible damage to the structure. I would not recommend anyone explore this school. You risk getting robbed or worse. With that being said, I heard weird noises and other various things during my exploration. After these incidents, the vast majority of people would have been too terrified to even think of going back. But 2 years later, Chris decided to make a second visit to the school alone at 1 a.m.
He's got some balls, dude. Man's got a sack on him.
The decay is crazy in here.
Yes, Whetstone, yeah.
From the very beginning of the footage, it's clear that Robert Fulton Elementary belongs in a different category of abandoned buildings than most others. What stands out the most about the building is the fact that just over a decade ago, children were learning in those classrooms, running and playing in the halls, and now it looks more like something out of a horror movie than a school.
Jesus.
The eeriness of the location, the pitch darkness, and the extreme state of decay of the building all contribute to the school's incredibly creepy atmosphere, and not a lot of people would dare go in there at night, much less alone.
Guys,
for a building that has only been
Ohio
kind of
dope, low key, or no?
Robert Fulton Elementary is in a much worse state than other buildings that have
Is
been
Ohio
vacant for
pretty
much
sick?
longer. But Chris doesn't seem to mind as he captures footage of the dark corridors with peeling walls and random debris lying all over the floor. As he ventures deeper into the school, Chris starts hearing strange noises, but nobody seems to be around. And
Let me get RIP in the chat for Ron.
Chilling silence. The underlying structure
Poor
in some
Ron,
of the
man.
rooms on the
If he
upper
can only
floors
see
seems extremely
what this building is
unstable,
now.
But Chris shows his expertise in urban exploration by avoiding the surfaces that crack under his feet. After about 15 minutes of exploring the top floors, Chris goes down into the basement, which is arguably the most deteriorated part of the school.
Jesus.
As he explores the dark rooms, he finds some indications that other people could be living there. Interestingly, he also finds what appears to be a boiler room that's been flooded with water.
Oh, hell no. What is that? Okay, this is a horror game.
At around the 30-minute mark, a loud banging noise can be heard coming from one of the rooms, and it becomes very clear that Chris is not alone. As he steps into one of the
you gotta
classrooms,
play
he
that.
finds
You
a
gotta
very
play
eerie
the,
message written on the
play the
chalkboard,
thing.
which
I
reads,
wanna hear what it
"Don't
sounds like."
explore alone," as well as a paper sign on the door that reads, "Keep out."
Dude.
Despite the clear warnings,
Yo, you
he
know what's
goes
crazy, bro? Keep out. That almost looks like an upside down cross, bro. Yo, hey, they kind of fumbled the bag with that. They could have made that so much scarier. if it was an upside down cross. Whoever wrote that fumbled.
The door that reads, "Keep out." Despite the clear warnings, he goes inside, only to find more signs that somebody's living there.
Bro.
This is where Chris's visit to Robert Fulton Elementary takes a very chilling turn.
Stop, bro. What do you mean chilling turn?
Fearing for his life after hearing the blood-curdling scream, he sprinted.
Oh my God, I'd be running out of that building with a stream of poop falling down my leg in a liquid form.
Out of the building to safety, hoping that the man wasn't following him. If you look closely at the footage, you can see the outline of the screaming man when Chris peels back the curtain to his room.
Wait, where?
Upon reviewing the footage later that night, he found something else even more unsettling.
You can see the outline of him? Where?
Chris peels back the curtain.
Oh my God, he's right there, bro. Oh, he's a homeless guy. No, he's got no shoes, bro. Oh no.
To his room. Upon reviewing the footage later that night, he found something else even more unsettling. When he first walked into the building, his camera caught something that he didn't notice at the time. In the distance, a man's shadow can be seen walking into one of the rooms. It's not clear where the man went after that, but based on the strange noises Chris heard throughout his visit, it's very likely that the man was watching him all along. Although the scream was terrifying to hear, and we can only imagine what Chris must have felt at that moment, it's worth mentioning that the room he entered was probably the man's home, and from the squatter's perspective, it was probably just as terrifying to see a random man pull back the curtain to his room. These kinds of encounters can often get violent very quickly, but thankfully Chris once again made it out safely.
He got out of there quick as hell,
too.
too.
The location since then.
Oh my, that's insane.
This footage was uploaded in October 2019 by YouTuber Baker X Derek, a tour guide from San Bernardino, California. One day, as he was riding his motorcycle on the highway in California, he noticed an abandoned house sitting on top of a hill and decided to take a look inside. From the very beginning of the footage, it becomes clear that somebody has already been there, and that it probably wasn't the original owners of the house.
Dude,
unlike
stop
many abandoned
going into
buildings,
these people's
you can tell this
houses,
house used
bro.
to be beautiful before it was vacated, but that doesn't make it any less creepy to visit.
Hey, kind of a nice view though. What the fuck? Yo, underrated.
Oh, heebie-jeebies, dude.
How much you think this Airbnb is?
Dude, that dark room. I kept feeling something was gonna jump out at me. What's down here?
Oh, hell no. Are you fucking serious right now? What are you doing right now?
Dude, I think I hear somebody. I think I hear something.
Show him, hit the fucking slide cancel. Slide cancel out this bitch, man. Hop
Derek
up,
goes down
hop
to
on a
explore
bike.
one of the rooms on the bottom floor,
Oh
and this is where he
my
hears a
God.
disturbing thud. Terrified, he makes a run for it, and even trips and falls on his way out. But eventually, he gets back on his motorcycle and flees the location.
Oh,
As
shit.
per one of the most popular theories proposed by viewers, the noise was probably made by a homeless person who was trying to warn Derek to get out of his home.
There's a
Although
common theme
squatters
here.
don't spend all their time lurking in the shadows, it's common for them to use the darkness as a tool when someone comes into the building unannounced. It's a basic rule of urban exploration that if you hear a loud noise upon entering a room, you should probably leave.
You know what, guys? That makes me never want to go into an abandoned place. If I walk into a room and I hear a scream or a bang, I'm pooping. Like,
Sometimes squatters make a noise
I gotta
as a
bring 4
first and
pairs of
final
pants
warning
if
to
I'm
drive
going to an
visitors away
abandoned building?
respectfully. If Derek had pushed forward, he may have been attacked by whoever was hiding in the darkness. It's a natural impulse to call out and announce your presence in these kinds of situations, but squatters will very rarely answer these calls in a normal way. Nobody likes to be seen living in those conditions, and more often than not, the response will be rather aggressive and sometimes even violent. Fortunately, in this case, Derek was able to
his
get away
horn
from
is
the potentially
hilarious,
dangerous
though.
situation
That's the best
just
part of
in
this whole
time.
video right here. This clip, at least.
In central Ontario, Canada, there's a small community south of Port Elgin known as North Bruce. To the locals, however, it's known as the
That
Devil's
place looks
Elbow.
beautiful, low key.
According to John, the urban explorer who uploaded this video, the reason for the name was that there was once an occult high priest who lived in the mansion at a cul-de-sac, in which the townspeople used to think there was paranormal activity due to the occult rituals the priest used to perform in his home. The mansion has since been abandoned, and as of today, nobody wants to buy it
Here we
or
go
live in it
again,
due to
bro.
its chilling atmosphere and sketchy past. According to John, some renovations have been made sporadically since the house was vacated, but as of the video's upload, the house was still abandoned. In 2019, John set out to explore the occult mansion alone at night, but things didn't go exactly as he planned. In comparison to other abandoned buildings, the mansion seems to be in relatively good shape, except for the garage, which has clearly seen better days. About 5 minutes into the exploration, John starts to hear strange noises upstairs, but they seem to quiet down as soon as he climbs the set of stairs.
Okay, guys, I think I've been hearing stuff upstairs, but I'm hoping, and
Stop.
I mean this, I really hope
Stop.
that it's paranormal and not someone freaking in here.
L cameraman so far, low key, staring at the railing.
Freaking somebody down there, dude. Come on, quit messing with me. I'm just trying to freaking. I'll leave. There's somebody else in here. Now that I've got myself in a bad situation. Oh, jeez.
Dude,
Disturbingly, as he walks around upstairs, the noises can be heard again, even louder this time, leading John to think that perhaps someone else is in there messing with him. Although he mentions loudly to whoever is in there with him that his only intention is to explore and that he doesn't want to bother anyone, whoever was making the noise doesn't respond and continues hiding.
why are you still
The noises
walking
stop for a
around?
couple minutes, but then something terrifying happens.
It's forward open. Oh my god, 3 lantern. Hello? Is there somebody here? I'm not here to bother or rob anything. I was just here exploring. I thought it was a band.
Oh my!
Disturbingly, a man's voice can be heard screaming, "I'm gonna kill you," and before catching a glimpse of who it is, John runs out of the mansion immediately and doesn't look back until he's a safe distance away from the building.
That could be the worst thing
It's
to hear.
unknown who was in the house, or how long they had been watching him, or even if they had bad intentions or were just messing with him. According to several viewers, it's very unlikely that the other person in the house was another explorer. In the urban exploration community, people usually help each other out, and there's a sort of code that every explorer sticks to in order to help keep creepy locations as safe to visit as possible. If the other person in the house was another explorer, making noises in an abandoned house and screaming, "I'm going to kill you," would obviously be very out of the ordinary.
Holy shit.
That leaves the question of who could have screamed at John. It's more than likely that it was just a homeless person who didn't want any visitors, but because John ran out before he could see anyone, this
Bro, you
much
know
will
what?
probably remain
Yeah, that's crazy of him to just walk up to this door.
visitors. But because John ran out before he could
This man walks up to the door,
see anyone,
unlocks it, fucking jerks off the handle, and just, I'm busting through that. Fucking Kool-Aid man up my ass through that fucking thing, dude.
this much will probably
That's
remain
insane.
unknown forever.
Joe, what's up, baby? Oh my god, another fucking W video. That's 2 fucking bangers in a row. Wow, ChillingScares. Hey, chat, let me get a dub. That was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Wow. Crazy. Damn, it's over. I know, that was a quick ass 26. Chat, that was 26 minutes, that video. That went by.